Happy New Week, everybody. Here's Maria. Coffee break with Maria with nice coffee with this amazing mug. Again, drinking Americano. I think Americano is my type of coffee to start the day and the week. So I hope that everybody is doing fine, safe, healthy, you name it. So this week we have a lot of things going on. And today we're going to talk about something really important that is not only about what is important in everyday life for business owners, but something that is important through history. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the future of entrepreneurship. Wow, that sounds like the future. Well, I don't have the crystal ball with me or something like that, but I have a nice expert that is going to talk to us about that, about where we're coming from, about crisis, about other crises that we had through history that help us to think about business and entrepreneurship in a different way. So the idea is to discuss that and to invite you to everything that is going to happen, to be going on this week with our experts and the whole agenda that we have going on. For those who are new, we are 7 days to go, and within 7 days to go, we have a pool of experts. We're like plus 40 experts around the globe, covering like 10 different languages, cultures, and stuff. So it's really rich and delicious what is happening here, and we cover like 10 different fields of expertise. So that means that we can help you from legal, business concept, HR, sustainability, well, you name it. We have different categories, and we welcome you to ask anything, and also to suggest topics based on the events that we're hosting on a regular basis. If there's something that is challenging for you right now, or that you're thinking like how to face this or that, make sure that you can talk to us. And also know that apart from the events that we're hosting, we always have a free call with our experts, and today is no exception. So you can also continue the conversation after this event. So with that big introduction, I'm happy to welcome Cristhian Socarrás.
Hey.
Cristhian Socarrás. Boom. Cristhian Socarrás. There you go. This is him.
How's it going?
Not in a cold place. How are you guys? Oh my God. I love your outfit. Should I do the same?
Thank you. You can do the same if you want to.
So wow,
you can do
this is
if you want to, right?
How do you call that outfit? Smart casual?
Smart casual. Caribbean smart casual.
Caribbean smart casual, because of course Cristhian is somewhere, where are you right now? Mm-hmm.
I'm in a warm city next to Bogota, Colombia, that is called Ibagué.
Wow.
And it's around 30 degrees centigrade.
30 degrees? Okay. Yeah. Well, you look really fresh. When I'm in 30 degrees, I'm like melting.
No.
Probably drink some ice latte or iced coffee.
Something like that. So this is something that you use in warm places if you want to be warm, but you want to be fresh as well.
So he's not only an expert in the topic that we're going to discuss today, but he's also a fashion expert, street fashion expert. Let's see. Okay, I think it's good also in Europe. If I just say hi to everybody who's who's here from the Netherlands, the time is good. I hope that today is good. Alles goed, everybody. Yeah, so
summer is next.
So we welcome everybody. Please feel free to drop some emojis or some flags with your nationality, your location. We're happy to toast, to cheer with our coffee. What do you have? What are you having today,
I have
Cristhian?
Colombian coffee. It's called Matiz. It's very intense. And I'm using my French press to serve the coffee.
Now we're talking. I love the French press. French and Colombian fusion. Bam. Nice.
Yeah.
So that's good, good coffee, good chat. For everybody we have hosted events together before. And basically Cristhian is our expert when it comes to planning and strategizing around online marketing and any type of marketing in general, like marketing as a strategy. So this is the guy to go. And because he's used to do all these sorts of campaigns and help a lot of entrepreneurs, he has like ideas of trends and what's going on, not only during this time or his lifetime, but through history. And it's important also to mention that he has a lot of experience working with politics, with the whole public sector, municipalities, helping those municipalities to create that startup entrepreneurial ecosystem. Also in the city where you're based right now. So that's great because, when you think about policy and you think from the, from the mindset and the head of those who are making decision makers, of course, then we think, oh, where are things going, and where are these plans that are like 10, 20 years ahead, where are they going, and how do we need to adapt to that? So the whole topic today is going to be about that future, especially in this context where everybody's wondering what's coming up next for me as an entrepreneur, wherever I'm based, even if I'm in Colombia, Netherlands, US, you name it. So I think that with that, we're going to think about, we're going to give you a little history class with some trends. and we take it from there. People, please join the conversation. This is not me and Cristhian. If you have any questions, comments, things that you want to know or expand, just feel free to hop on. We're going to be just checking all your comments, all your questions via comments. So let's get started. Yeah? Nice. So my first question to you is, where are we coming from? So we have the history behind entrepreneurship, right? Like right now we're thinking about Corona crisis implications. There's a bunch of content online about what's happening and what's going to be the impact that, already is there. Of course, the impact, we already feel it. But let's think about the history behind entrepreneurship, like what were those moments, key moments in history where the whole entrepreneurship ecosystem, or startup ecosystem as well, because startup came later on, was reinvented. So tell us about
history. But something, entrepreneurship is something that, the first, you can go to 1550 if you want to talk about entrepreneurship, right? When people from Europe came to the Americas, a whole commerce line between the two continents was built, and it was built through entrepreneurship. But that's part of the human nature, to create things and to build businesses. You begin to talk about entrepreneurship in the 1550 because of money and credit, you see, because those are like key factors for us. But if you want to go to a startup, the first time we began to talk about startups, it was in the 1970s. Why? 1976, because something happened that is called the Triple Helix. The Triple Helix is when you get people from the universities, from the academy, you get people from government, and you get people from that have ideas. You see? So you have money from the government, you have knowledge from the academy, and you have desire and vision from the people who have the idea, right? So this ecosystem, this new Triple Helix, was developed in what we call now Silicon Valley, and it was through this juncture of military resources, the academy, and a lot of crazy people, a lot of crazy people that were, because this was created through communities that were obsessed with technology, like chips and panels and boards and that kind of thing. So if you want to talk about startups, you have three concepts: the Triple Helix, so that juncture of resources, public resources, academy, and crazy people. And you need obsession and communities. You need to talk about communities. So you need to get together with people who like the same kind of things, right? So that's the first thing. But if you want to, you were talking about crisis and the COVID-19 crisis, but this is not the first time that we have been through something like this.
100 years ago, what happened before?
100 years ago, we had the Spanish flu, and we have a pandemic every 100 years or so. So it's part of the cycle of the humanity and the planet. And entrepreneurship is part of the pandemic. There will not be a pandemic if we didn't have globalization, right? We have things that come from China, and we have companies from Europe, from United States. We have the hubs, Silicon Valley, Amsterdam, Barcelona, Singapore, Korea. Everyone is interconnected, and the same thing happened with the Spanish flu, and the same thing happened with the Black Plague. it was because of commerce that we humans are the vector for the virus to transmit between one place and the other.
Yeah.
So this is part of doing business.
Yeah.
We gotta remember that.
And you see, every business owner right now, especially those businesses that depend a lot on commuting or like, import, export, people are like, I don't care. Like I was this weekend with one guy that is an expert in logistics and he travels a lot, with his business to do that. And he was like, I don't care about risking right now. I'm losing business. I want to be on that plane right now. So basically, business is triggering your self-exposure or whatever because your business is your drive. And sometimes it's like we even go beyond our health, not to mention all the cases of burnout that is happening exactly in the case of entrepreneurs, or like business owners now.
You know what is funny? It's funny because people don't remember that. But the Black Plague began spreading in Europe from Venice because the Venice port was very important for the economy during that century. And it went to Venice and then to Portugal and then and so on. And the Spanish flu didn't come from Spain. It came from Texas.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know.
So it's because we move and because we do businesses. And the people who brought the Black Plague, they brought that in ships because there were rats that had the vector.
No.
And now because of the commerce and interactions between the Mediterranean Sea, they had this big outcome of the bubonic plague.
So in general, like just to recap that part, like it's not new. It has been there since forever, since we move as human beings, and since we move as business owners, and we expand and we commute through different places just to do business or to interact with other humans. But of course, in the end, you just always think and wonder what is the impact, So when you think what are the main trends and indicators that we should consider as entrepreneurs thinking about, okay, we know that this is happening more or less every 100 years, like you said. This is the reality, and we see it happening. And we see that also thanks to the crisis, a lot of new businesses come, like together, like new concepts that also old industries are also considering on pivoting or tweaking their business to be, of course, more relevant for the current times. Then what we should, if I'm a new entrepreneur, I'm going to open a company today and I'm look at the trends and look at what's happening, for example, in the context of this COVID-19, or I'm thinking about, okay, things are going to change forever, or from now on, people are going to be paying more attention to remote work, hygiene, I don't know. So what are the trends and indicators that I should look out, to think about starting a new business or even reinvent my current business?
Yeah, we can go 100 years back in the past. So we had a big crisis for the world. We had the First World War and we had the Spanish flu pandemic, and it compressed the economy. It deflated the economy. But after that, we had a prosperity decade. It was the wonderful years in United States, the Anne Jolie in France, and wonder years in Germany. So we had a culture and a lot of things. So the first thing that we need to pay attention to is what happened during the crisis. Everything became local. So you had to cater to the local communities. So local businesses are very important. Food and maintenance is going to be very important during the next 2 years are going to be, key for that. For local businesses, food, resources, maintenance, whatever you were doing with big logistics, you need to do local right now. The second thing is that you need to pay attention to digital businesses. Something that you can do online and that can serve your community without transportation. You're gonna need logistics, right? Because you need to take products from one place to the next. So local businesses, digital businesses, logistics.
Yeah.
Those are the
And
three
of
things.
course, I see a clear growth on services. Yeah. A lot of people are going to
Yeah.
look into creating like SaaS solutions, software as a service, everything that has to do with
Everything as a
customer
service.
service, coffee as a
Everything
service,
as a service. Yes.
everything as a service.
I wanna begin a startup with coffee for
Yeah.
Europe.
Well, let's start it together. I love coffee today. So today, live, we're making a new partnership. Boom. So
Yeah.
yeah. So the
And
idea is to think about where are the opportunities in crisis, and that's what we're thinking. Like, so for example, we think about how the future looks when it comes to these times of Corona crisis. You just said it. And on top of that, because of the Corona crisis, we're going to have a new way of relating to space. So also how we design space or think about, interacting with coworkers or at home, creating home offices. All of this is going to be relevant.
interaction is going to be very important. Digital interaction is going to be very important, and because we need to interact with each other. The last week, some states in the United States opened operations, and the bars were full like crazy because we need each other. I mean,
Yeah.
we need to interact with each other. Well-being is going to be very important. Well-being
Yeah,
is going to be very important. So spiritual services, yoga classes, training
coaching.
services, coaching, all that is going to be important because people need to feel better about themselves and to improve themselves. So there's a big opportunity. All those people that were working on gyms and that, they can create scalable businesses
Yeah.
because now with a single computer, microphone, and a camera, they can transmit their knowledge to 100,000 people.
Yeah.
So that is going to be good. That is going
So
to be
here's my
good for
reminder
businesses.
again. Like we're going to do this 50 minutes call, and I think that a good topic for that call with Christian is how to scale my business, how to take it there. Because you might be right now this yoga teacher that has a studio, or even worse, like in brackets, even worse. If I have a hotel right now, for example, here my family they have a hotel business here, and of course all the hotels are shut down or they are serving as provisional, temporal clinics. So
Yes.
how the whole industry of tourism and mobility is going to be affected, including education, not to mention all the students that are doing Erasmus now, that are like all these industries are like rethinking how to do it, how to take their class online. And, there's a lot of things to think about, how to tweak the business and how to make it scalable. I think these are the two things that, the
Yes.
takeaways from what we're saying now, right?
Scalable is going to be a challenge for some industries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But everything that you can transmit digitally, you can scale. Right? So education, I think this is going to be good for education. I think this is going to be wonderful for education. Why? Because knowledge was concentrated in spaces. Like you had to go to Oxford or to MIT or to some university to get the best knowledge available, right? But since we have internet that can connect the world, and we have digital means to transmit data and knowledge and record that, you can have classes everywhere and anywhere, and it is going to prices are going to go down,
Yeah.
right? Because you can serve 1 million people with the same class.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good. Competition is going to be harder because people are going to begin to understand value
Yeah.
in what you offer. I mean, you need to be practical, you need to be on point, and you need to give value to your customer. I mean, you're gonna teach them something or tell them something, and it got to produce results. If it doesn't
Yeah.
produce results, it's not gonna work. So competition is gonna be move forward. But for hospitality services, that industry is gonna suffer for the next 2 years or so. Because even if we have the means to travel back from country to country, people are not going to be willing to do that because they're going to be afraid, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be more expensive to provide services of hospitality with all the security issues and all the bio safety protocols that you need
Just the
to
implications of
provide.
commuting from A
Yes.
to B. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I've been seeing and what I've been recommending to people who have asked me for that, because two industries are coming to me right now: uh, the hospitality, and
Yeah.
restaurants. So restaurants are good. You can save restaurants because you can put them online. You can create an e-commerce. You can use social media to communicate with the customers and so on. But hospitality, how are you gonna fill a hotel? So what
Yeah.
some people are doing is they are creating those spaces or adapting them so people can live there.
Like a co-living
Like,
space,
yes,
or like a rental,
yes,
like a furnished rental,
yeah,
like an
but
Airbnb.
but but different, not for a short space of time, for short periods of time,
For
but
long-term
for
rentals.
long.
Yeah.
Yes, for instance, yeah, there are clinics next to this sector where I live. Have a lot of hotels and clinics.
Mm-hmm.
So what they are thinking about is, okay, people are gonna go to the clinic, so we need a space for people to live while their loved one or something like that is going to the clinic. So they are thinking like that, or they are fixing that for people who need to work and need good connection and need somewhere to be. So they have that space, but they're doing something interesting. Not only in Colombia, I have been reading about this. They are creating those co-living spaces, but they are creating opportunity for people to interact.
Okay.
If you live alone in a space, in a little loft or something like that, it will be better for you to go to one of those hotels, maybe live in a little space, but have the opportunity to connect to other people, not being alone. That is very
Okay.
important right now.
Yeah, I think that loneliness is a key aspect of these times of
Wow.
isolation.
Yeah.
You know, even if we do
Isolation.
10,000 live events and I can see you, it's like I want to go out and see my friends face to face and do things together. So I think that the how to deal with loneliness or services that are like how we can be there. So that's why for us accountability sessions are really important. Not only expert to entrepreneur, but also within entrepreneurship. You know, like a peer-to-peer relationships are really important. You know, because we share the same
Yeah.
interest and we have the same struggles. Yeah.
The community creation on digital spaces is going to be key because
Yeah,
we
and it's
need
going
each
to
other.
grow like crazy. It's already growing.
Entrepreneurship, yeah, entrepreneurship needs interaction.
Yeah.
Need You need to bring people from different disciplines, from different points of view, crazy, each one with its own gimmick, and
Yeah.
you need to mingle with them. So because that's how we grow. So if you can create for the co-working spaces, if you can create a digital space where people can do that, you can still be in business because people are going to value that if it offers results.
Of course, of
I
course.
mean,
I saw it the
that's a
other
key
day,
word right now.
like 2 days
Results.
ago. I even shared with you that link of people who are asking about what are you cooking today, you know, during quarantine. And you know, like in less than a week, that group has like over like 700 members, and people are just posting the photos of what they're cooking or
Yeah.
ideas of recipes of how to stay healthy during quarantine and all of these things, you know. And it's content that is relevant for right now. That's what we think about, you know. Like the whole thing is how to stay relevant, you know, and how to make it in a way that people understand the value of what you offer. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important to go back to what you were mentioning before, like that after every crisis, not that this one is an exception. After every crisis, the whole policy and the whole movement went more local, right? So the idea is
Yeah.
that you know, like now we need to support our local businesses. We need to support our locals. We see it in the Netherlands. People are going to give priority to Dutch people over internationals. I'm an international
Sure.
living in the Netherlands for 9 years. They're not going to say, Maria, come, you're first. We know that. Not to be mean, it's reality. First locals, then
No.
internationals. So if you're an
No.
expert or if you're like an international that's especially not involved in that, how do we, you know, make a good balance or between going, you know, thinking global and acting local?
I have an experience from Spanish people, and Americans, people from the United States are the same. It's not if you are local or international, it's that you give local value. I mean,
Exactly.
what matters is that even if you're international, if you come to in Spain, they are very rude about it, but I mean, they make a point. If you come to offer value and to help us build with us, and they embrace you. But if you come to see how you can like take advantage of the system, like please don't come,
Yeah.
please don't. So if you're an international in an entrepreneurship environment, offer value. I mean, you have to do better than the local person. You have to give double. You have
That's
to
really
make a double
important. That's
effort.
really important because in the same line, we have, because we are based in Amsterdam, which is really international, and we are a really international focused
I love
company.
it.
We're always attracting international entrepreneurs that are thinking,
Yeah,
oh, I just came to the Netherlands. What should I do now? How do I go about immigration, finding clients and whatever? Just because you're not from the Netherlands, it makes a double effort for everything,
yeah,
to get the client, to make a value proposition that everybody says, wow, this is legit, I want to go for it. And especially now that you're suggesting this, there's a really, really important advice. I mean, in general, a rule of thumb is like, be relevant for local reality. So for
yeah.
example, if in the Netherlands people are just crazy about sitting outside in terraces drinking beer after work because the sun is going, is shutting off at 10 p.m., how can we do something between 5 to 10 that will add value to that experience of, I like to drink my beer after work in that terrace? How
Yeah,
can we improve that
yeah.
experience in this
So
circumstance? Because you need to
and
understand
now
those insights.
and
Go
now that you're
ahead.
talking about local businesses, and there is something a huge business that is looming, and nobody's paying attention to that. Uh, but the Netherlands is circular economy.
Nah.
So we have the lineal model. You design something in the United States, it goes and gets made in the China or something like that, Taiwan or Vietnam, and then it goes to a warehouse in China, and then it goes back to the United States, and then it goes to Europe. That is over. That is over for a few years. So that lineal model is going to be replaced by necessity for the circular economy.
So what do you
So you
mean?
need,
Let's explain a little bit the concept so everybody's on the
yeah,
same page.
circular economy means that what you use and you dispose of, you can reuse that. So
Okay.
recycle is a part, renewable energies are a part of this. The thing with clothes, for instance, people in Paris were crazy last week doing, queues and lines to get back to Zara, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to purchase new things so they can throw the old ones.
Yeah.
But there are markets where you can sell this shirt to someone else who's willing to pay a little price for this, even if it's designer or not. So they reuse a lot of things. So what you dispose of becomes uh, a product that can be transformed again and give value to someone else.
Yeah.
So circular
Well,
economy is going to be very, very important. And the ONU,
100%. And I have to say, by living in the Netherlands, this is the reality. When I tell my parents, like, I'm going to a vintage shop to buy clothes that is already like used, even if it's brand new or top brands or perfect status, they say like, ugh. Are you taking, like,
yeah,
you wearing
why?
something that somebody else, especially people that were like dead, people think that I will be possessed by the devil. It's like just the
Yeah,
mindset of the culture. Like, in Europe it's completely common to use things until the end, especially in the Netherlands. So just because we have like just a couple of minutes left, I want to wrap it up a little bit in terms of action. So what's the action plan for every entrepreneur in the next decade? I know it's a very big question, but
yeah,
we have
but
been saying, like, like, what should I do, actions for every entrepreneur to consider this moving
okay. If
forward.
you first, uh, check your costs again. You
Mm-hmm.
have to replan. You have to think like a military person. You have to think tactically.
Mm-hmm.
So you first regroup and then you measure what resources you have, what your costs are going to be within this crisis, and how you can like view a little of the future. No one can because it's really foggy, but you regroup, you take your assets, you take your resources, and you measure. Okay, and then you see what you can do digitally. What can you offer digitally? Communication, service, and so on. And then think of logistics, how you're going to put your product in the place or location of your customer, and how you're going to move money from one place to another.
That's also really important. The whole
Yes.
fintech thing, here
Yeah, the
in
goal
Europe is so easy just
is
to transfer. This is going to be booming. All the payment methods, everything that is happening as payment providers.
but be careful. There, we need to pay attention to that, because financial system based on algorithms, they are going to
Yeah.
Okay,
So recap.
Yeah, so think about your logistics, think what you can do digitally, serve locally, cater locally, and pay attention to your customer service like crazy, because repurchase is going to be important. Generate communities who are going to purchase again and again and again. That is going to get you through the crisis.
Great. I think that we have a lot of tips and a lot of work to do. So please don't do that by yourself. If your head is like this right now, I cannot even do it like this huge right now. Please talk to Cristhian about it. Like, everybody needs help right now. I think that it's easier to talk to somebody than to just keep it for yourself. It's really stressful just to have the anxiety of making the right choices, because in the end, it's about decision making, as a business owner. So just come to us. Let us know what you think about this event, and don't miss the upcoming events. We're up right now. So Cristhian, a lot. Thank you for this whole recap on the history of entrepreneurship and what can we do, facing the current crisis.
One final advice.
Yes.
Think about cash flow, not growth.
Yeah, really important.
Right now, cash flow, not growth. Growth later. Let the crisis stop. Okay?
That's good. Thank you, Cristhian, for everything. I hope that your coffee is not cold because you haven't had time to sip it enough.
No.
I want to invite you. I want to personally invite you because you're Spanish speaking. Twice per month we have Spanish events. This Wednesday is going to be a live webinar on pitching, actually really compatible with what we said before. What is the pitch deck and elevator pitch in these moments, and also with actionable exercises. So it's going to be really practical and interactive. That is going to happen on the 20th of May. So in Spanish it will be pitch deck y elevator pitch, un ejercicio práctico de presentación efectiva en el ecosistema emprendedor. ¿Sí? With our expert Viviana Henao, who is also new at the expert pool. And then on Thursday, we always have our webinar, but this time we're also going to diversify with something called Expert Demo, which is basically our experts showing how it works by sharing their screen. This time we're going to focus on how to improve your sales process using Hotspot CRM. A lot of people are using CRMs, especially from the free version onwards, you can get a system of how to deal with your sales and how to make something that is coming from strategy to tactics, and that is of course giving you alignment between sales, marketing, and what you just mentioned, customer support, so all your team is in line. So I invite you, all the links are via comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Wish you a really, really nice week. Sorry for extending this for 3 minutes more, but the topic is really, really interesting. We could talk about this forever. Thank you. Have a nice week. Thank you, Cristhian, for everything. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See you later.